Everything we do at Simplicity from Complexity is connected to productivity. We're collaborating, we're innovating, we're trying to bring the economies of specialization to bear in the marketplace. And that's really important at the moment, because I think we're living in times where we're seeing the limits of the economies of scale. So my thinking on this started, really, would you believe, and this is how sad I am as an individual, way back as a teenager. And I was reading Joseph Tainter's Collapse of Empire, which talks about the collapse of the Roman and the Mayan empires. Just so I don't appear quite so sad, I travelled a lot, I moved a lot as a child. My dad was a professional rugby league player, and no money in rugby league in those days, so you had to have another job. And my dad worked in the concrete industry, so that meant I was constantly moving. And in history at school, as I moved from school to school, the only subject I ended up studying was Roman history. So don't ask me questions about anything other than Roman history, but that was why I was reading The Collapse of Empire. But Joseph Tainter uses the collapse of the empires to teach economic lessons, saying that there are limits to the economies of scale. Things can become so complicated that even the smallest change begins to generate negative value. And this economically is called the law of diminishing returns. And again, from economics, we know that the answer to the law of diminishing returns are the economies of specialization. And this is 1776. This is Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations. If you haven't read it, please read it, because would you believe a book that is so old is so relevant to today's times. And so the economies of specialization is bringing to bear specialist expertise, such that the rest of society can get on with doing what it does best and allow the experts to concentrate. You outsource to people who really know what they're doing in a particular area to get the most efficient solution. So the appropriate measure of the benefits of the economies of specialization are excellence, they are efficiency. But if your procurement practices are set up to buy the benefits of the economies of scale, the lowest price, the best organization, will they be able to purchase the economies of specialization? Because you're using the wrong scale. There has to be a measure of excellence in there, because that's what you're really trying to get from the economies of specialization. So in summary, we're faced with a major challenge here. Right? We can innovate as much as we like. We can introduce the economies of specialization, but will current procurement practice be able to cope with them? Can we adjust our thinking to take advantage of the economies of specialization?